The news day continues here on One News Now. I am Mon Gualvez. Pag-asa sees higher heat index ahead as the warm and dry season begins. Let's talk more about this with Pag-asa weather forecast specialist Veronica Torres. Good afternoon, ma'am. First off, for the information of everybody, can you explain to us what heat index or init factor means?
Hi, good afternoon po sa inyo lahat. So kapag sinabi natin heat index, ito yung temperatura na nararamdaman natin kasi yung usually natin kinokollect which is yung air temperature, hindi kasi siya sapat para malaman yung init factor or yung nararamdaman natin. So nagka-calculate tayo gamit yung mga relative humidity para makuha po natin yung heat index.
In any certain case, ma'am, at which point that heat index indicates danger, if ever?
Sa kasalukuyan yung 42 to 51 degrees Celsius or pag lumagpas tayo ng 52 degrees ay na po yung mapanganib na heat index. Although yung mga 33 to 41 degrees Celsius, mapanganib na din po yun na parang caution na yung sinasabi natin. Pero pag 42 to 51 ay na po yung mapanganib na po talaga.
So far, ma'am, based on your monitoring, which areas are seeing high heat index and will this worsen?
As of now, nakikita natin medyo mataas yung mga heat index na na-record natin. Mostly sa maraming parts din talaga na ating bansa. Although based sa ating forecast, nakikita natin na sa may mga bandang Butuan and also sa General Santos, maaari tayong yung heat index natin doon pwedeng umabot ng mga nasa 42 to 43 sa mga susunod na araw, maybe mga March 29 to 30.
How about, are there any abnormal changes in the temperature, ma'am?
Sa kasalukuyan, usually mainit talaga or mataas talaga yung temperature na nakukuha natin. Sa ngayon, although nakikita natin pagdating ng based po kasi sa ating latest na climate forum, pagdating ng mga around May, yung normal natin na temperature maaring tumaas pa or maging above normal around May sa maraming bahagi po ng ating bansa.
On that note, may you please share to us your reminders to the public amid the scorching heat?
Opo, sa kasalukuyan nga po, lagi tayong magdadala ng payong, pananggalang na nga din sa mainit na panahon, and also, lagi rin tayong iinom ng water dahil importante nga po yun para lagi tayong hydrated.
Thank you very much. That was Pag-asa weather specialist Veronica Torres. The national government and several LGUs took part in the Earth Hour event on Saturday. Non-essential lights in Malacanang were turned off for an hour from 8:30 to 9:30 last night. President Bongbong Marcos earlier called on the public to be part of the solution to climate change. Over in Quezon City, the QC Memorial Shrine and its vicinity went dark for the observance of the Earth Hour. Mayor Joy Belmonte vowed to pass a green buildings ordinance and solarize the city by 2030. Earth Hour PH National Director Angela Ibay said carbon emissions from electricity continue to rise. That is why the observance of Earth Hour across the world is important for nature conservation.
What we've seen though is that based on the science that the scientists have said is that the increase in emissions has gone up, so importante talaga na ma-conserve at ma-preserve po natin ang ating kalikasan.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I am Mon Gualvez. Former U.S. President Donald Trump shrugs off his possible indictment over hush money paid to a porn star. In his first campaign rally for his re-election bid in 2024, Trump took aim at state prosecutors. The Republican leader said he is being investigated for, quote, something that is not a crime, not a misdemeanor. Trump allegedly paid $130,000 to porn star Stormy Daniels in 2016 to stay quiet about an alleged affair. Chinese President Xi Jinping is styling himself as a mediator in the war between Russia and Ukraine. But how does this affect Beijing's relations with Moscow? Let's find out in this report.
A journey of friendship, cooperation, and peace. That's how Chinese President Xi Jinping referred to his latest visit to his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. And this friendship is surely thriving, especially on the economic front. Xi's three-day visit to Moscow comes at a critical time for Russia. The country is facing unprecedented sanctions by the US and its allies over Putin's invasion of Ukraine. The Russian economy shrunk by 2.1% last year, and the country is expected to lose $190 billion in gross domestic product by 2026 because of the war. Against this backdrop, Beijing has offered Moscow much-needed economic and diplomatic support. China's imports from Russia have soared since the war began, providing the Kremlin with a vital source of cash. One of the key imports driving this trend? Oil. China's imports of Russian naphtha and fuel oil have increased significantly in the last year. Yet, in his visit to Moscow, Xi avoided making any commitments regarding a potential deal on gas with Russia, signaling some hesitation from China on appearing too close to the Kremlin. So what does this mean in terms of China's position on the war in Ukraine?
What this shows us is that China has decided very much to support Russia economically through trade and investment, even as it tries to position itself increasingly as a potential mediator on the war in Ukraine. And that regardless of what Xi Jinping may think himself about the conflict, he's not going to take any actions that might be seen to be taking the lead from the US or the West more broadly. And so when it comes to the war in Ukraine, for China, it's very much a balancing act.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I am Mon Gualvez. We are One News.